Hello, welcome. My name is Liz and today I'm doing a quick fun video announcing my TBR for July. And the reason why I'm doing like a TBR announcement, which is something I don't typically do month by month, and also why I'm dressed up like this, is I am taking part in Sally Thames Summer Splash 2022 challenge. It's so fun. It reminds me of just being a kid, doing summer reading at the library, checking off all the different requirements for the books that I read when I was a kid. It's one of my favorite memories back when I was in elementary school, and I'm just getting those vibes again. So I'm so happy to be taking part in this challenge. And if you are not familiar with the Summer Splash challenge on Instagram, I'm going to link the video that Sally made explaining everything, all the different requirements and things like that. I'm gonna also link the Instagram page just so you can follow along and see. There's a bingo board to help keep track of all the different categories that you can read books for. So I'll put all that information down below. Thank you, Sally Thames, for this challenge. This is so exciting. So, I just wanted to kind of give you a rundown. The books that I'm reading, I don't have a book for every single category. I am allowing myself to double dip in some respects because, and I wrote this down, I was thinking about it, I was like, because every ice cream cone is made better by not one scoop, but two. Some of the books that I chose will qualify for 2 categories, some will qualify for 1. I'll give you a quick rundown. I am a somewhat slow reader, so I'm not expecting myself to get through all of these. If I could, that would be amazing, but here's just, if everything in the world were fantastic and everything worked, I would read every single one of these in July. If I read half of them, I'll count myself as lucky. But so first, for Spice It Up and possibly for Touch Grass. Spice It Up meaning a book written by a person of color, or Touch Grass is reading a book entirely outside, which this is Spy Family. It is a Japanese manga. I've been meaning to read this. I've been watching the show ever since it came out. I've been so excited to read it. I cannot wait. And I figured since it's somewhat short, and of course manga always goes super quickly, I figured this would be a fun one to read outside. Next, for the buddy read category and also for summer vacation, buddy read is pretty self-explanatory. These 2 books actually are books that I'm planning on reading for book clubs, and summer vacation means a book that has been translated. So first, I have my little post-it notes with everything. This is a book I'm reading for a little book club online on just a Discord random, but I've been meaning to read this book forever, My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante, which I believe is translated from Italian. So I've been meaning to read this forever, finally gonna get through it. It's a big one. I have a couple big ones here, so this is gonna be a challenge, but this book and also Book Lovers by Emily Henry are 2 books that I'm reading for book clubs this month in July. So I believe this book also takes place entirely in the summertime. So this book could also qualify for heat waves, meaning it is set entirely in summer. I have another book for that category, but these are the 2 I'm reading for buddy read. So excited for them both, but I also just read Beach Read by Emily Henry. I loved it. It was so good. I'm so excited to dig into Book Lovers. This might actually be one of the first books that I read in the month of July. And then next, also, I just talked about Heat Waves, which is the category set entirely in summer. I am planning on reading the 2nd book of the Summer I Turned Pretty book series. I literally just finished this book a few days ago, the first book. I want to read the 2nd book somewhat soon. I think it's Not Summer Without You. I don't have a copy of it yet. I'm planning on possibly borrowing it or just listening to it on audiobook. But the first one was so much fun. I read this series forever ago. I have no clue what happens. I was 13, I think, when I read it for the first time. But the new Amazon series is out, and I've been meaning to watch it, but I think it would be fun to reread the series before I start it. So the second one is definitely on the docket, and the audiobooks for these are like 6 hours each. Super easy to just knock out when I'm doing a work shift or something like that. So that is one of the options for that. And for the category Roots, which is to read a childhood favorite, I'm so excited about this one, Shakespeare's Secret by Elise Broach, which this book was one of my all-time favorite books growing up. I reread this last year. I have no shame. I want to reread it again this year because it was so good, such a romp. I literally read it in one sitting. The audiobook for this was amazing. I listened to little bits and pieces of it. So good. I'm so excited to reread this. Oh my gosh. I think I remember I literally got this copy at a Scholastic book fair. I loved Scholastic book fairs. They were always so much fun. It just gives me such good memories. So if you're interested in like fun, adventure-y, kind of National Treasure vibes and you like middle grades, I highly recommend this. I would recommend this book to anybody who is willing to read it. So yeah, give it a shot if you're curious. And so for the next two categories, I have two books that I'm considering for Share the Love, which is reading somebody else's favorite book, and also branch out a genre you don't usually read. And I have two options. I'm not necessarily going to read them both. I'm going to be choosing. That's kind of the theme of this TBR. I'm definitely a mood reader. I like to give myself options. My husband loves Hermann Hesse. I've never read Hermann Hesse before. This is definitely a little out of my comfort zone. It definitely seems like these books might be a little bit more intense, a little bit more philosophical, but my husband loves Hermann Hesse, both Siddhartha and Damien, so I'll pick either one of these to qualify for these two categories, or I'll read them both and they'll both count for their respective categories. These could also qualify for Easy Breezy, which is a category meaning a book under 200 pages. And these are both super short. These could probably be knocked out in a day each or so. So yeah, I feel like these books will be really versatile, and who knows, maybe I'll discover a new favorite. Next, also for the Easy Breezy category for a book under 200 pages, is a book that I've been dying to read for years. I've had this on my shelf, meaning to pick it up, never doing it. It is Bluets by Maggie Nelson. This little book I've heard such good things about. It's just little snippets of thoughts and reflections on the color blue. It also seems to also have a memoir sort of bend to it. Super curious about this book, and it's so short. It's like, let me look, 95 pages. Love it. Love a short book. So yeah, hopefully this is when I'll be able to finally knock out, finally say I've read it, finished it. I have really high hopes for it too. I have just been staring at it on my shelf forever, excited to read it. So hopefully it doesn't let me down. Hopefully I love it. And then for the category Sunny Days, which is a book with a yellow cover, and this is another book that I possibly could read for the Touch Grass category, which is reading a book entirely outside. It is the third Heartstopper. I have read the whole series. I would be rereading this one and the second one actually. I reread the first installment of the Heartstopper series a month or so ago. I would need to reread the second book before I got into this one, but these go by so quickly. I think I read the first one in like an hour when I reread it last month, and oh my gosh, they're such fun. They're such a romp. I think this is also set, if I remember, oh, it's during a school trip, so it's not necessarily a summer book, but it has like vacation vibes. They're going on a trip to Paris in this book. I love the Heartstopper series so much. They're so much fun, and I just cannot wait to reread these again in the month of July. It's really been a long time coming. I think I read these like immediately after they came out, so it's been a year or so since I read this last. So excited. So that's definitely on the docket. Like, definitely going to be rereading Heartstopper. For the Sandcastle and Pride categories, Sandcastle meaning a book featuring royalty, and then Pride meaning it is a LGBTQ author or main character. And this is a book I've been excited to read for so long. It's Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I have been meaning to read this forever and I haven't. Everybody's been talking about this book for years and I can't believe I haven't read it yet. I'm so excited. I've heard it's hilarious. I've heard it's such a good rom-com type book, and I feel like this is going to be a good one for the summertime. I feel like this is going to be a good one for the middle of July. Maybe I'll go to a pool and read this there. I feel like this would be the perfect book for it. So yeah, super excited about this one. This one might also be one of the first ones I read because I've been waiting forever to read this book. The next we have Spice It Up, which is, as I said before, a book written by a person of color, or this could also qualify for Summer Vacation, which is a book that is translated. It is Strange Weather in Tokyo. This is another book I've been meaning to read forever. I feel like I'm kind of using this challenge to just read the books that I've been dying to read but haven't really let myself. And I feel like this is also a really short book. I think it's also under 200 pages. So it could also qualify for easy peasy since it's such a short book. So lots going for this book. I've heard such good things, and how cool is that cover too? I feel like that's just such a fun one. I have read a lot of translated Japanese fiction within the last 6 months or so, certainly since the beginning of the year, and I've enjoyed every single one that I've read, so I have high hopes for this one as well. So I'm excited to report back and tell you what my thoughts are on this one. So the final book that I have for the last two categories is a book with a body of water on the cover, which is called Surf's Up, and this can also qualify for Hot Girl Summer, which is a book written by a woman. It is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've had this book on my shelf ever since, like, before this book came out. I got this ARC back when I was working for Barnes & Noble when they had ARCs out. I've been holding on to it. Can't believe I still have it. Can't believe I still have it and I haven't read it. So all I know about this book is that it's about a family, kind of a little bit of a family drama, but I think it's also set in the summertime, maybe with some time jumps here and there. So I've read Taylor Jenkins Reid before. I love her writing so much. So I'm super excited to be reading this one finally after staring at it on my bookshelves for forever. Those are all the books that I have. I'm going to be dipping in and out. Like I said before, I'm a mood reader. I like to pick and choose. So I'm not saying I'm going to read all of these, but this is the stack that I'm going to be picking from when I choose what I read for the next month. And thank you so much again for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. I'm going to be posting reading vlogs throughout the whole month of July as I read these, so if you're curious about my thoughts, please feel free to come back and check out my content in the future. And if you want to know more about the Summer Splash Challenge, like I said in the beginning of the video, go check out Sally Thames and her channel and the video she has all about the challenge, and check out the Instagram for it as well. All that information is down below, as well as my Instagram. I'm going to be posting about these books too, so yes, lots of good content to go consume if you are so willing. But thank you so much again for joining, and have a great day. Bye.